nurse will take you back to your room. There's nothing to worry about.
Hello. My name is Hardland. I have some urgent calls to make. Now, do you understand? Urgent. My number? Oh, God knows. This is Hampton Place in Warwickshire. Now, get me... Oh, all right. It's, 246-8091. Yes. Now, I want Toronto Central 865776. Toronto, Canada.
You didn't have to wake me up, Angela. She thought I was matron. Oh, she thinks everyone's matron. It's one of her delusions. Now get me a cup of coffee from the machine.
Yes, matron.
All right, I know I'm unstuck, I don't deny that. But I need the loan of $500,000, and quick. Hold on. Hello? Oh, yes. Hold on, Jeff, will you? Sam, I've got Jeff Castle on the other line from Toronto. Now, he is prepared to help me out. Oh, it's a good long-term investment for you anyway. What do you mean, cutting me off in the middle of a critical transatlantic deal? Get him back on the line this minute.
Well?
Oh, I just dropped in to use the phone. Make a couple of calls.
Oh, he's more or less recovered from his breakdown now. He's convalescing at Hampton Place. Do you know it?
No.
As a psychiatric nursing home, it's said to be somewhat bizarre in its techniques. But as a luxury retreat for rich hypochondriacs, I understand it's superb. Brandy.
Thank you.
The club keeps some very passable cognacs, I'll say that.
Thorburn, you didn't invite me to your club just to sample the brandy. You're trying to tell me about Jim Harland.
Such a shame to see a great character like Hardland cracking up, isn't it?
What do you mean?
When you think, he started off with nothing but a second-hand lorry and a scrapyard, and now controls one of the biggest building groups in the country. Manufacturer, too. His prefabricated building units are the finest in the world.
Get on with it, Alec.
2 cognacs, please. If you engage a big contractor like Harland to build you a factory or a hospital or a housing estate, you don't want him to go broke before the job's finished.
But Harlands aren't going broke. I know they've had their difficulties, but when their accounts were published last month...
Everyone anticipated a devastating loss.
Instead of which...
A small but reassuring profit.
Exactly.
On paper, anyway.
Thorburn, if you're suggesting...
Thank you very much.
If you're suggesting that Harland's been cooking the books, any allegations of that sort should be made direct to the Board of Trade through the usual channels. And if there is some cause for concern...
You will be informed through the usual channel.
Yes.
And so you will be, Arthur. Just thought you'd like to know what's coming your way. You see, I'm not the only one who can tell the phony from the genuine article. Simply by the smell.
Whatever other complaints have been made, sir, I'll lay any odds you like that Alec Thorburn is behind those as well.
Whatever you may think of him, Gamble, Thorburn is highly regarded in the business world.
Where did you meet him, sir? At his club?
Thorburn may not be the public-spirited citizen he pretends, but neither does he make allegations of that sort simply out of malice.
If Thorburn has got reasons of his own for wanting to see Harland smashed...
Well, I can't think of any.
Then he'll cover up his tracks,
And
sir.
neither can the Board of Trade. I was up there most of yesterday. Complaints have been made. It's up to us to look into them. Now, there is published accounts for the last 5 years. Whether it be tax returns, director-share transactions, stock sheets, and details of all the various dodges that Thorburn thinks he's up to. Like buying in second-rate steel at knockdown prices and entering it in the stock sheets at top quality. Check it through. And if you think there's a prima facie case for an investigation, well, let me know.
And if I don't, sir?
Then I'll report to the Board of Trade that in our view there's no case to investigate, that's all.
He seems damn sure of himself.
No, just sure of you.
What is this, Ashley? The great white chief himself taking my blood pressure? Get cluttered up with detail, you'll find yourself in a psychiatrist's couch.
You speak from experience?
Let's get to the point. I'm a busy man, even if you're not.
You're a patient in a convalescent home. You've no right to be busy.
Oh, come on, out with it. Saying I was wanted for a checkup, that was just an excuse.
Well, chance for a bit of a chat with you.
You can come and have a chat in my room any time you like.
Oh, no, you're never in your room, and half the time no one knows where to find you. Take yesterday, for example. You had a ping-pong match with Mrs. Phillips and Rudge in our knockout tournament. She waited an hour for you.
Ping-pong.
And at your first session in weaving therapy, I'm told you took one look at the spinning
What
wheel.
do you think I am? The Sleeping Beauty?
My patient, Mr. Harland, recovering from a mental breakdown brought on by overwork and acute hypertension.
No, not recovering. Recovered. I wish to discharge myself from your sanatorium.
Oh, very well. But if you find yourself back in the psychiatric wing of a London hospital...
Just tell me why you want to see me.
Oh, why do you think, man? Quite apart from the obvious risk to yourself, you're driving my staff round to bed. I mean, really, sending Nurse Rosalind to London by chauffeur-driven car simply to deliver a letter?
It was a day off. Besides, she enjoyed it.
Demanding I install a telex machine for your own private use?
At my expense.
Phoning America at 3 in the morning?
Oh, for God's sake, man, a few piddling phone calls. Put them on the bill. And from what have I seen of your charges, they'd barely show up if I'd been on the line to Hong Kong all night.
Hong Kong?
If you'd let me have a phone in my room like everyone else...
Oh, Mr. Harland, we took it away for your own good.
What on earth do you know about my own good? As a businessman, you couldn't buy a packet of peppermints without being shortchanged.
I am not talking about business.
Well, I am. Out. At this moment, my company is engaged in trying to find an outlet on the continent for... Can't you see that I am busy? Get out! Now, one of our chief activities is the manufacture of prefabricated building units that are second to none. But transport costs are so high, they're not worth exporting. Are you listening, Ashley?
Of course, Mr. Harland.
Now, over here in Holland, there's a firm called Vanderman's with factories all over the continent. Now, they also manufacture prefabricated building units, only theirs are no good. So, if they could manufacture ours instead in their factories, it'd be good for them and good for us. And that is why we're trying to merge.
Yes, well, you will never get well if you keep worrying like this about your business.
Who cares about getting well if my business collapses?
Oh, come now. From what your wife tells me, it's in capable hands.
My wife, she couldn't tell a balance sheet from a pillowcase. As for my fellow directors, well, I shudder to think what a mess they're making of it in my absence. They tell me they know what they're doing, and the pious hope that I'll believe them. But God help us all if they believe it themselves.
Yes, well, there's nothing you can do about it here now anyway.
You'd be surprised.
Mr. Harland, do you want to relapse?
Who cares about my sanity if the price is bankruptcy?
Oh, look, I'm sure it isn't. I mean, from what you're saying, you're onto a good thing with this merger.
Yes, but the trouble is Vanderman's made you a deal with someone else. Next Wednesday, that's when they decide. 5 days, that's all I've got. 5 days to put my house in order and convince those bloody Dutchmen.
All right, Mr. Harland, all right. Now, you're getting overexcited.
If the worst comes to the worst, it won't be a padded cell for me, you know.
It's where you're headed right now.
No, it'll be a column in the Times and a memorial service at St. Paul's.
There are the last of his stock sheets. They seem to add up all right.
Right, well, we've checked every company that Harlands have had dealings with. I haven't put a foot wrong.
Clever accountants.
Bloody marvellous. I wonder why needs them.
You're going to see Proud?
Yes. How long will it take to get some visiting cards printed? Let's say about a half a dozen.
Sure, he will settle down in a day or two.
Well, we've certainly had some really, thank you, difficult cases here, but I've never known anything like that.
Well, I did manage to make him see sense in the end, though it was anyone's guess who'd be worn out first. And so, well, I don't think he'll give you any more trouble for a bit.
I couldn't believe it when I saw him here on the phone that night. And his rudeness just now, Dr. Ashley. Excuse me. Matron? Are you expecting a call from Australia, Doctor?
Oh, that will be for me, I think. They said they'd call back at midnight.
It's midday, Mr. Harland, and I'm afraid if you don't know that...
It is midnight in Australia, matron. Didn't they teach you any geography at school?
I'm sorry, there's no one of that name here. I'm afraid you'll be misinformed.
My course, try and smash my business.
No.
Who do you think you are, sitting at that desk? As if you own the place. You're
Yes,
fired, you understand?
Don't worry
You
about
are
that.
fired.
Yes.
Who are these people? What do you mean, charging in here? Take your hands off me. Alice, don't just stand there and go. And why are you dressed like that? I always told you looked like a bloody frump. If my own wife does...
They've had to put him under sedation. Dr. Ashley said he started throwing things. And then they found him making phone calls in the middle of the night. Now, what was he doing that for?
Don't you worry, my dear.
He's under sedation now, but I shall have to see him on Friday. He's bound to want to know what's happening here.
Everything's under control, isn't it, Swinley? Batting along all right, what?
Why is he frightened then?
My dear Alice.
And why are you?
Management consultants.
From London.
John Gamble and Associates, Half Moon Street, W1. No number.
We're well known to the postman.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm quite sure Mr. Swinley is unable to...
Mr. Swinley will see me if you mention my name. Just say John Gamble to see you.
He's engaged at the moment.
Then I'll wait.
Very well. If the opportunity arises, I'll let him know you're here.
Alice, there is no cause for alarm. Once Vandermans come in with us, and our building units are being made all over Europe.
But will they come in with us?
It's in their interest, my dear.
Jim never tells me a thing about the business. If ever I ask, he says I'm not to bother my pretty head. Me pretty, he doesn't even look to see.
No, of course you are, Alice.
Well, since his illness, I've read all I can about the business. Upward trend at last, rising profit. But nobody seems happy about it. Why not?
Because Vandermans might not come in with us.
Swinley.
There's another company after them, Muirheads. Their units aren't a patch on ours, but nevertheless...
And my dear Swinley, it's reassurance that Mrs. Harland wants.
No, it's the facts, Sir John, isn't it?
Yes.
The Vandermans are bound to come in with us, bound to.
Well, if that's so certain, why is Jim making phone calls from a hospital bed?
Because it wouldn't be Jim if he wasn't.
The truth is this, Alice. Vandermans are a very old established firm in Holland. Conventional, old-fashioned, very staid and respectable.
Very Dutch.
And they can't help seeing a one-man operator like Jim as a bit of a wide boy, not altogether to be trusted.
Do you mean has Jim been up to something?
No, of course not. Honest as the day's long, we know that.
But these phone calls, is he trying to conceal something he's afraid the Dutch might discover?
Vandermans want our units, Alice. They much prefer them to Muirheads. In the end, they'll swallow any doubts they have about Jim and come in with us.
Rest assured, Alice, don't let it worry you at all.
Goodbye, Sir John.
Everything depends on the outcome of that board meeting next week. But short of some disaster hitting us between now and then, I'm pretty sure Vandermans will join us. All right? So just tell Jim to get himself well. We miss him. Bye, Alice.
Mr. Gamble says you know him.
We have met. John Gamble and Associates.
What?
Management consultants.
From London.
Yes, Half Moon Street, near Green Park.
Management consultants?
Yes, we're the kind of people you call in to get rid of the dead wood, to clean things up, as it were. Can you spare a moment?
You know Sir John Wainwright, our chairman?
No, I don't. How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Inspector Gamble, fraud squad.
Thank you. There we are, Mr. Anderson. Now I'll take you to your room.
Thank you, Angie. Usual one?
Of course. We keep it specially for you.
Like hell you do.
Well, have you ever not had it?
You still my nurse?
I'm afraid not this time.
Have matron see me at once.
Oh, you wait till you see who is on duty up there. Nurse Rosalind has the loveliest legs.
Yeah?
Angela, would... Mr. Anderson, welcome back.
If following about in your lousy saltwater paddling pools was any damn good, I wouldn't need to be back, would I?
Oh, you can't fool me. You come here for the treatment.
You've taken Angie away from me this year.
Well, I dare say that could be fixed.
I'm sure he'll much prefer Nurse Rosalind, Dr. Ashley.
Can't we have her as well?
You know what a crook patient I can be at times.
Who made these absurd allegations?
I'm sorry, I can't reveal that.
Why not? Come in here accusing us of fraud.
I'm not accusing you of anything, but if complaints are put before the Board of Trade that the true state of your company is being misrepresented in your books,
Our books will stand the closest examination by anyone. You mark my word.
then you've nothing to fear, have you, Sir John?
How naive can you get? With Harland in a nursing home, we're only surviving at all because everyone knows we're
Everyone knows you're joining up with Vandemans in Holland.
But nothing's fixed yet. Once it gets out, we've got the fraud squad on our backs.
You haven't, officially.
What?
John Gamble and Associates, remember?
Hey? Management consultants.
Called in by you to recommend ways of improving your accounting methods.
Will somebody please explain?
Yes. One bright girl behind a desk with authority from you to look at anything she likes. She won't give herself away.
So you don't believe these malicious stories?
My superintendent believes them, but I'm not ignorant of the fact that with Harland laid up, there are plenty who'd like to take the opportunity to finish him off. So which is it to be, Mr. Swindy? The superintendent's way, or mine?
Good morning, Mrs. Tripp.
Good morning, matron.
This is coming on very well.
Oh, thank you, matron.
Oh, Doctor will
Thank
be
you.
very pleased. Well done.
Thank you, thank
Morning.
you. Good morning.
Dear me, we haven't made very much progress here, Miss Royal. Try a little more boldness with the brushwork, do you think?
Well, if you think so, matron, I'll try.
That's right. And how are we today, Mr. Harland? I'm glad to see you up again.
Hypocrite.
Now, Mr. Harland.
How long did you have me doped for?
3 days rest in bed did nobody any harm. Only it does take it out of you, so I wouldn't overdo it if I were you.
If you want me to throw something else at
Now, Mr. Hardland. We're here to help you,
you, then go away.
Mr. Harland.
Yeah, it's all right about that, but you took 25 bob off me last night, Roz, and now what's he like to lose to a female?
You're so bad at poker, Mr. Anderson.
All right, we try snakes and ladders next. You pay out on the snakes and collect on the ladders. I'll beat you both at that.
I doubt it.
I don't see how you can cheat at snakes and ladders.
I never cheat.
You wouldn't be a millionaire if you didn't.
Now, look, you two are in the wrong business. Go and get the games books. Go on. Off with you.
Walt hands. Walt! Where's Jim?
Jim Harland.
Why, it must be all of, 10 years?
12. That lousy yacht of Lord Redway's when I fell down his hatch and never got up again.
You did all right out of it. 20 grand, wasn't it?
Ah, dropping the bucket. He's got more stacked away than I have. And you know what? I had to take that lousy barge to court to squeeze it out of him. And it didn't get me back in my pins again, did it?
Do you know, I tried to call you in Brisbane the other night.
Yeah? And what the hell for?
Here, have a cigar. This calls for a party.
No smoking in the solarium, Mr. Harland.
Bring us a bottle of scotch, woman. No, make it 2.
Quite impossible.
Don't you give up hope about being able to walk again, Walt. Why, miracles can happen. By God, they can.
Excuse me interrupting, Miss Platt.
Not at all, Miss Hicks.
Valuations of work in progress from the subsidiary companies that I asked you for, I don't think we quite have them all in yet.
They've all been notified.
Do you think you could possibly chase them up for me?
I am rather busy, Miss Hicks.
Well, then, the sooner I can complete my work here and leave you alone, the better.
If you care to make a list of those you wish to hear from, I'll see what I can do.
I'm most grateful, Miss Platt. Oh, Miss Platt, the valuations of stock held by subsidiary companies would be helpful, too.
Anything else?
That appointment with the company secretary you said you could arrange for me? Thank you, Miss Platt.
Not at all, Miss Hicks.
It's 150 quid, Yomi.
Oh, we'll settle up later.
No, I'm calling in my loans, Jim. Settle now or go bust.
Now, you owe me 3,000 yourself.
And you owe me 3,550, so pay up.
Oh, come on, old man.
Come on, you're only making worse for yourself.
Bond Street, 2 houses, that's 450 quid.
Well, that's still 100 you owe me. Now, pack it in.
Not likely. 8.
You're crazy. Jail?
No.
It is. Look, you're heading straight for the neck, Jim. Olders reckon you'd finish up there.
Oh, you can still collect rents in jail.
Anyway, I'm bushed. I've had enough.
All right, you old villain. How much did you say?
100.
One night, Wally. Why don't we play it right through to the end?
For real?
Well, you could afford to lose.
Yeah, but could you? You can't cheap at this one, Jim.
No, I suppose not. Anyway, I should hate to fleece you without giving you something in return, as I could if it weren't just a game.
Like what?
Well, you're an international property man, and I'm a builder. I give you a share in Harland's.
Mr. Anderson, is he here?
What is it now, Roz?
There you are. It's time for your massage.
What, again? I'm still sore from the last rub down.
Oh, it's all part of the treatment. George and Alfred are down there limbering up for you now.
Couple of hoodlums.
I suppose you'd rather it was Angie and me doing you over.
Yeah, that chance.
I don't know. Just give us time to grow our nails nice and long.
Bitch.
Is my husband here, nurse?
Hello, Mrs. Harland. Yes, he's over there in his office.
Office?
Oh, it's just a joke, Alice. Come on in. Wally and I have been playing Monopoly. That old bastard took 100 quid off me.
You don't mean to say you've been playing for real money?
Oh, no. Oh, well, we do settle up with the real thing. It's no fun otherwise. And I'll get it back off him tomorrow.
Can't you even keep money out of a game?
It's no game I'm playing with Anderson. Do you know who he is?
No.
The Australian property millionaire. I tried to call him the other night in Brisbane.
Oh, leave it alone, Jim, please.
And all the time he was on his way here. Now, if that doesn't mean that I've got fate on my side, I don't know what does. You tell Swinley not to worry, Alice. The Vanderman deal is going through.
Harland's on the fiddle, all right, I'm sure of it.
What have you found?
Well, for instance, he seems to have 55 bulldozers, 31 steamrollers, and a couple of sight cranes that travel around in convoy from one Harland company to another.
It causes a few jams at the roundabouts, doesn't it? Oh, hello, could you get me 706-8000, please?
They really only travel on paper.
You don't say.
Aren't you interested?
Oh, I'm fascinated.
Well, each company buys them to sell at a profit to the next.
Prove it.
It's obvious. By the time they got back to base, 17 Harland companies would have each chalked up a fictitious profit of maybe £1,000.
Oh, could you put me through to Detective Constable Roberts, please?
Add that together, and the group records an overall but quite non-existent profit of, well, something in the region...
Hello, Roberts. This is Gamble here. Look, car registration number CUY799H. Chase up the owner for me and ring me back at, what's the number here?
It's on the phone.
Oh, good thinking. 0212-468 extension 48. Yeah, right, thanks.
Creating artificial sales is fraud.
Full marks.
But that's not the only thing I've been sweating blood over either. Listen, work in progress upvalued by £100,000.
You're doing a grand job.
Mr. Gamble, I'm busy.
Urgent.
Busy?
5 minutes. I want to see Harland. And I don't mean as a management consultant.
Impossible.
Essential.
You'd put him straight back in a nursing home.
Not if he's innocent.
Even then. Just to learn that while he's been laid up, the police have been checking the till. He hit the roof.
Not if he's in the clear.
How do you know? Are you a doctor? If he cracks up again, and it turns out there was no case to investigate...
You'll have me crucified. Well, I'll risk that. Hicks? Look, there are enough irregularities in your books to bring us here in force.
Such as?
A work in progress, upvalued by £100,000.
credit squeeze. Local authorities delaying payments.
Or deliberate fraud, like creating artificial sales from one company to another.
Prove it.
I can't prove any of it. But if my suspicions are right, then Jim Harland is in for fraud up to the tune of...
$750,000.
Thank you, Sergeant.
There's no need to put that kind of gloss on the company.
What, even with the Vanderman deal about to fall through? I mean, supposing those Dutch accountants learn that you're $750,000 short.
This is downright slander.
Yes, could be, but that would take us 6 months to find out.
Take a year for all I care.
I will, if need be. But if you give me 1 hour with Jim Harland, then I could be off your back in 24 hours.
Why all the hurry, Inspector? What are you so concerned about?
I'll tell...
Swindley?
Gamble? No. No, I don't know him, but I'm pretty sure I know his boss. Thanks, Roberts. I'll tell you what I'm concerned about, Mr. Swinley. The jobs of 10,000 Harland employees.
Where is Mr. Harland, nurse? I've been looking for him everywhere.
We're trying to find him for you. Oh, there he is. Mr. Harland? Mr. Harland?
Most of the techniques we use here make us quacks in the eyes of conventional medicine, however many safeguards we are subject to. But if it weren't for a few places like us, prepared to take the avant-garde in medicine seriously, why then illness, it would still be regarded as the wrath of God.
Yeah, well, you don't have to lay it on the line for me, Doc. You see, conventional medicine gave me up the day after that maniac Jack Redway set me crashing on his yacht.
Ah, yes. You must speak to me about Lord Redway. He bothers you, doesn't he?
Bothers me. Tried to kill me.
Oh, come.
Look, I'm telling you, he tried to do me in, got me on that yacht and left the flaming hatch open. And if you get me walking again, he's not getting his guilt money back. How long do you think this treatment's going to take?
Good. 48 hours. Partly drugs, partly hypnosis. You see, there's nothing organically wrong with your leg, so if we can break down the psychological...
Yeah, all right. Look, I wouldn't understand it anyway, Doc. Hey, Jim, they want to hypnotize me. Put me in a psychedelic trance for a couple of days. God knows what dark secrets I'll let drop, eh?
Well, it's worth a try anyway, but don't count on any miracles.
Yeah, right, I won't.
When's this to be?
Tomorrow.
How about a game before they put you away?
Yeah,
and I don't mean Monopoly or poker.
Huh?
Come into the office.
Hey, don't they give you a room here the same as the rest of us?
Oh, stay in there too long. And if it's not the chaplain come looking for a stock market tip, it's matron come to order hard labor in the basket-making room. I'd be grateful if you'd take a look at those. It's the details of our merger with Vanderman's, and I'd appreciate your opinion, Wally.
Huh?
Gamble.
You have an appointment?
No, but it's important.
Dr. Ashley, the gentleman here to see you, a Mr. Gamble.
Yeah, looks a good deal, but you don't need me to tell you that. When's it going through?
Tomorrow, the Vanderman board agree in principle and sign heads of agreement.
Mm-hmm. Building all over Europe, huh?
Yeah, might even build for you.
Now, why do you need to do that?
Well, I don't, but I can never resist expansion when I see it. Come in with me, Wally. Just think of it. Wherever your holiday sites lie, Spain, Portugal, Italy, North Africa, no more haggling with the local wards. You'll have a share in a major building firm of your own, and the best prefabricated units wherever you want them. Put in the odd, say, $750,000 now.
$750,000?
Well, more if you like. With an investment like that and a seat on my board, you could help me get the best of the deal with those Dutchmen.
I think you'll do all right without me.
I need your help, Wally.
No, Jim, you need my money. And if you don't get Vanderman's, I've lost it, haven't I? You talk to me, Dale, when the deal's all sewn up, eh?
Can I tell them you'll join us then? £1 million investment that'll pay out jackpots when we've netted Vanderman's.
When you have? Yeah, I'll join you then. But not before.
Police? Here?
No one need know.
Oh, Harland will know.
A few questions.
He'll break up.
Not if he gives me the right answers.
Just a minute. Ah, Mr. Anderson, is Mr. Harland still in the solarium?
He was just now.
Angela, fine, Mr. Harland. Will you want to ask him to come to my office?
Oh, what if he won't?
Get him here, girl.
Yes, Doctor.
No idea what a difficult customer he can be. He has a relapse.
His business is having a relapse at the moment.
His business is not my responsibility. His health That is.
And will his health recover if his business collapses? Look, if I can't see him, it will for sure. Now, I can't force you, Dr. Ashley. I obviously can't insist. It's up to you.
Where the devil is he?
But I thought all the Dutch could speak English. My name is Harland. I want to speak to Mr. De Vries.
No idea, Dr. Ashley. I shall be only too glad when Mr. Harland is out of here for good.
So will we all, matron.
Isn't he in the solarium, nurse?
I can't find him anywhere, matron.
Well, he must be somewhere. Keep on looking.
Dr. Ashley,
Mr. Gamble.
Dr. Ashley.
Excuse me, look, one moment, will you?
De Vries? This is Hardland. Just in case there is any talk at your meeting tomorrow about going in with Muirheads instead of us, I thought you ought to know that Walter Anderson is joining us. If you like, I could put him on the line to you now and you could talk to him yourself. What do you mean you were just going to call me? Why, you don't even know where I am. For God's sake, De Vries! At least wait till tomorrow, can't you? Why jump the gun? Now, if you think that going in with that mob will do you any good, who's been twisting your arm? Hello? Hello? De Vries, are you there?
Doctor! Get Dr. Ashley, quickly.
Mr. Harland phoned you? When? But your board doesn't meet till tomorrow. Why have you decided already? All right, so it's just a recommendation, but why? Look, this line's terrible. What did you say?
What happened?
Hello? Hello? He's going to recommend to his board that they go in with Muirheads. Miss Platt, get me De Vries in Amsterdam at once, and make sure it's a clear line.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Gamble wants to see you.
To hell with Mr. Gamble.
Our Vanderman's pulling out.
How did you know?
Well, I was at Hampton Place when Mr. Harland phoned them.
How did he take it?
He collapsed. Now, listen. When we moved in here yesterday, I thought it on the cards that somebody with their knife into Harland's was just using us. So we played it very cool, management consultants. And then this morning I discovered for sure that we were being used. Now, in order to give you a clean bill of health, if you deserved one, I had to act fast.
Why?
In case Thorburn played his ace.
Thorburn, is he behind this?
Working for Muirheads?
Who else?
It was that bastard who put you onto us.
Look, when an allegation of fraud has been made, an inquiry has to be
You've
set
been
up.
conned, Gamble, and we are going down for it. Yes?
The broker's on the line. Harland shares have dropped a shilling in the last hour.
They can't have heard about Vanderman's yet.
He asked me if the fraud squad were here. Fraud at Harland? It's unspeakable.
Miss Platt, your other phone is the Financial Times.
It's got to the press.
It's got everywhere by now. Thorburn will have seen to that. Sent in the police to do his hatchet work for him. And when the time is ripe, breaks it to the press, the city, and Vanderman's all at the same time. What did he offer you, Inspector Gamble? A seat on his board?
We went in good faith.
We were taken in by Thorburn, sir.
Oh, we always knew that that was on the cards. That's why you used the back door.
Yes, sir, but we still went in.
Not officially. Even now, we can issue a statement saying that proceedings of a criminal nature are not anticipated.
Do you think anyone will believe us, sir?
Well, they were quick enough to fall for Thorburns gossip.
Look, with Harland recovering from a crack-up and the company in the state it was, I mean, people were in a state of mind to believe anything, and they still do. I mean, listen to this. Rumours that Harlands are under investigation by the fraud squad were hotly denied by the directors of the group last night. But it does seem unlikely now that the merger with Vanderman's will take place. Whether it was because of this or the general unease felt at present, Harland shares fell last night to an all-time low. Issue a statement. I mean, Thorburn's got a photograph of me entering Harland House that he can issue.
How the devil did he get hold of that?
Well, Thorburn's thorough. He has to be if he wants to get Harlands out of the running in favour of his lot. I mean, that man has brought down a good company and slung 10,000 people out of work.
He could still be justified if Harland has committed fraud.
Look, I've been through Sergeant Hick's findings, sir. I mean, there's nothing at all. No evidence at all that would stand up in court. Anyway, if Harlands have rounded up a few figures to keep a good company in business, who suffers?
Didn't hear that, Gamble.
No, I'll go after Harland, sir, and fast, when I learn that people are likely to be hurt by his methods. But at the moment, it's the other way round.
Yes, sir.
Who? Oh, Oliver Swindley and Sir John Wainwright, by appointment.
Well, what the devil do they want?
I should think they want to see us scrape the egg off our faces and eat it in front of them. Will you stay and meet them, sir?
Mr. Anderson, aren't they waiting for you in the isolation room?
Yeah, I'm on the way, love. Just coming to collect my gear in case I never see the light of day again. Now, what the hell's eating you?
Oh, morning, Wally.
Well, today's a big day, isn't it?
What for?
And those Dutch blokes signed themselves over to you. Why the wet Sunday?
You've not seen the papers this morning?
Well, the newspapers? Cut it out, I come in here for a holiday. Well, there's no hitch over Vanderman's, is there?
No. Just some damn silly editorial to press me. Fellow actually supported the capital gains tax.
I'll see you Friday. Hey, Jim. Hey, do you know what that flamin' quack said? He said that deep down I wanted to fall down that hatch on Redway's yacht. Can you beat that? He said I was scared of competition, me. He said, deep down, mind you, that I knew I'd never be as big as Redway, so I crippled myself so I'd have an excuse for not trying. I tell you, that quack's a galah. I've never been scared of anyone, least of all Redway.
Just a minute, Wally.
Quack.
No, it's important.
What is it?
Believe me, I never wanted to do it. I went through hell last night worrying about this.
About what?
A friend is a friend, Wally, right?
Yeah, well, look, Ashley's mob's waiting for me, Jim.
Now, you know there's not a man alive I'd rather be in partnership with than you.
Yeah?
Well, I don't want to lose your friendship, Wally.
Well, what are you on about? As long as I don't lose my money, you won't.
Well, that's just it, Wally.
Ah, you mean you don't need me anymore? Well, no hard feelings, best of luck.
Well, it's just when you said that you wouldn't come in until the Vanderman deal was in the bag.
Oh, now look, I'm no mug. Who would?
Well, that's just it, Wally. There are people.
Yeah, I bet. Well, tell me Friday.
No, I'm not fooling,
Look,
Wally.
I believe you. I believe you.
Lord Redway.
Jim Harland is an honorable man, sir. The very least you can do is to make amends.
The Vanderman board meets at 3 o'clock. All we know at present is that their managing director, De Vries, is going to recommend that our offer is rejected. But if you can assure him we were only investigated because of a malicious accusation made by Muirhead...
Oh, that's out of the question. Police can't allow themselves to be
mixed up in business?
Well, it would be tantamount to giving you a reference.
Don't you think you owe us one? You take away our good name. It's the least you can do is to help us get it back.
What we can do, Sir John, is to get some third party to speak for us.
Who? My stockbrokers. Eldon and Robarts, sir.
Old-established firm. Vandermans will be impressed.
All right, Gamble, but keep it off the record. Sir John, Swindley.
Business is business, Wally. If Jack Redway was prepared to take a risk which you wouldn't, or don't think I blame you, mind, but if he was prepared to come in at once
For
with...
$750,000? And Vanderman's not even netted?
Well, all he's going to do is to buy some of my shares. You see, since I have been in this place, well, they've been dropping a bit. Stands to reason with me out of action.
What are they now?
4 bob.
4 bob? That means you're damn near bankrupt.
No, that means they're a bargain, Wally. And when the Vanderman deal is announced tomorrow morning, they'll start rising again at once. And when it's learned that Jack Redway's coming in with £1 million investment...
Damned if he is.
Well, if you wouldn't help me...
Now, when did I ever say that?
Well, Redway's idea is to buy enough Hardland stock to start a gold rush. So that by next week, we'll be in a position to take over Muirhead's even, bang in a 1-for-1 offer and...
All right. What are you offering Redway for his services?
Oh, well, now, buying at 4 bob a share, he'll make a packet anyway.
Come on. What are you offering him? A seat on your board? Harland and Redway with Vandermans in their pocket? European building trade at their feet over my dead body.
Oh, I have to take him in with me, Wally.
That damn fag.
But if he gets 10% of my stock, maybe even more...
After that much?
Oh, all he can get.
Then he's asking for a fight. By God, I'll show Ashley who's scared of competition. I'll have Redway on his back.
Mr. Anderson.
Out of my way.
What have you been saying to him, Mr. Harland?
Well, we were just talking about an old friend of his.
Mr. Anderson, whatever's the matter?
Take me to a room. I want a phone.
But you're redoing the isolation unit right now. Where are you going?
Mind your own business.
Angela, have you seen Mr. Anderson? They're waiting for him. He's in there on the phone.
Oh, it's all right, nurse. He won't be a moment.
As much as you can get. Now, look, I want 12% of that stock at least. And don't pull your punches. Don't argue. I'm after Hollands. I'm in a hurry. Now, get cracking. Sorry, Jim, but like you said, business is business.
Oh, Mr. Anderson, we have got ourselves into a state, haven't we? I thought they told us to relax today. They'll have to give us something to calm you down now.
Why are you looking like the cat who got the cream, Mr. Harland?
Would you like to make some money, nurse?
It's been so long since I've seen any, I doubt if I'd recognize it.
Buy Hardland shares now.
Who, me?
Oh, I can arrange it for you. 10 quid today will be worth 20 tomorrow. Spread the word around among the patients. And if the brokers query it, they only have to say that Walter Anderson is buying.
Are you serious?
Do yourself a good turn. Do everyone a good turn. Evening, Dr. Ashley. Maybe by this time tomorrow night we shall all be able to pay our bills.
Sir John,
Thank you, Miss Platt.
is it going to be all right, Sir John? Have they phoned Vanderman's?
Gamble's getting a broker to do it. I only hope they'll be on time.
Anderson is buying.
Buying what?
Our stock. Walt Anderson.
Fairy tales.
It's not a fairy tale. Our shares are climbing. Fast.
Anderson? Walter Anderson?
Yes, he's an old friend of Harland's.
Yes, but that doesn't make him a fool. He must have heard that the Vanderman deal's off.
Perhaps he's also heard that you're going to get it on again. Has your stockbroker got through to them yet?
I've no idea.
But he's going to, isn't he? I mean, you explained the
Didn't I
situation.
read somewhere that Anderson was here in England?
Yes, he came over a few weeks ago to have some treatment for his paralysis. Take to Sergeant Hicks.
Where?
Oh, Mr. Eldon.
Yeah, but where was he having treatment? Look, whatever that old buccaneer Harland did before, at least he hurt no one, but now...
Mr. Eldon, your broker.
At this rate, our shares will have topped Muirhead's by tomorrow morning.
Not if Muirheads get Vanderman's after all.
No. Vanderman's won't go in with that lot once they know that Anderson is backing us.
But why is he, Jim?
What did you say to him?
Mr. Harland.
Yes?
Excuse us.
Well?
We came to give you our money.
Oh, I'm not that skint, Angela.
But if that's what you've invested for us...
Well, what do you take me for, a bookie?
But if it doesn't come off, for all
It'll
you...
come off all right. Our shares are rising all the time. And take your profit now if you want, but you'll make more if you hang on.
Everyone in the place has been on the phone.
Well, they're lucky to have a phone.
What have you been up to, Jim?
People come from all over in this place, stinking rich, the lot of them, on the phone to brokers up and down the country about Anderson. Why, our PR man couldn't do as well if we trebled his allocation.
Why did Anderson go for it, Jim?
Here we are, with a fraud squad crawling all over our books.
You heard about that?
Yes. And the Vanderman takeover going down the plug, and our shares going down after it. And yet, Walter Anderson is buying. Now, for him to do that, we must have something big up our sleeves.
I wish we had.
As long as people think we have, that is all that matters.
What are you doing here?
Did your broker get on to defreeze?
Mr. Harland, Inspector Gamble, I tried to talk to you yesterday.
Yes, I remember. I had one of my blackouts.
On seeing me?
You know we're innocent of fraud, Gamble.
Correction. I never got round to finding out if you were guilty.
What's happened since this morning,
That's what I'm here to find out.
Has anybody got in touch with DeFreeze? The meeting's in half an hour.
There's quite an air of excitement in this establishment. I was chatting to some of the staff downstairs. It seems that everybody from Lady Muck to the kitchen maid is having a little flutter on the market.
Yes, and they'll all make a packet.
Not if the Vanderman deal falls through. You knew Vanderman's intended to reject your offer, Mr. Harland. I was there when you heard the news. Did you deliberately keep that from Anderson?
Oh, he only had to lift the papers.
Mr. Anderson comes here for the pretty nurses and the hot baths. Maybe he doesn't see the papers.
Well, ask him.
He's in a semi-coma and will be for the next 2 days. You know that.
He'll come to on Friday even richer than he was, like everyone who's buying Harlands.
And when he finds out that he's been conned, that you're not getting Vanderman's after all, And that you always knew you weren't.
We'll get Vanderman's as soon as you get someone to talk to De Vries.
And what if I don't? What if I talk to Anderson first? What then?
Walt will sell out and a profit.
And will everyone else? I mean, what about all those people who don't know the game? I mean, the first they'll hear about it is when they hear on the news that Harlands have ceased trading and that all their savings are worth are just little scraps of paper. Well, as long as no one suffered, I had better things to do with my time. But now, well, I never did get round to talking to you about certain items in your books that worry me.
You'd bring that up?
Yes, coupled with what Anderson will tell me. I think the two will give me a case that could send you down for 5 years.
And for that, thousands of small investors will be ruined. All our employees thrown out of work.
Oh, I'm sure you're very worried about them, Sir John. You're breaking my heart.
I hope so, because the only one left laughing will be Alex Thorburn.
All you have to do is get Eldon to phone De Vries, and not even Anderson has been cheated. You can make us or break us. And not just us. If you feel so sorry for the ones who don't know the game, now is your chance to look after them.
By condoning this kind of fraud?
Well, why not gamble? And just think what the alternative is.
Can you beat it? Hey, can you beat it? That damn head shrinker trying to be a hypnotist put me in a trance. And he had the nerve to say that my subconscious was deliberately resisting him because secretly I enjoyed being confined to a wheelchair. What the hell's up with all of you?
This is Sir John Wainwright and one of our other directors, Oliver Swinley.
Oh, Daggy, you all look guilty about something. Barged into thieves' kitchen, have I? Who's this villain here?
Detective Inspector Gamble.
Ah, yeah. Always reckoned you'd end up a nick, didn't I, Jim? And what do you want here?
Oh, nothing. Just visiting.
Inspector Gamble, we have less than half an hour.
My brokers phoned De Vries at 12:30. Your merger is to go ahead as planned.